crypto warriors, changing our world day by day. The way of the crypto warriors, can't rely on the bankers, no way.
Good morning, Bix Weir, RoadRunner.com. With your morning horn disease, your sip of chaga coffee. It's so funny. I was looking at silver. It hadn't done much, and I'm like, wait a minute. It's a Fed decision day. They got to decide if they're going to taper, which is bullshit. What are they going to dump all these toxic derivatives onto the market? But it is a day of rigging. And right now it is, what time is it? Pacific time, it is 8 o'clock. The Fed decision is not due 9, 10, 11, 3 hours. So somebody apparently already knows what's going on. Or it's last licks, and they're going to cover, and then silver's going to run higher. The CFTC couldn't spell silver price manipulation if they tried. Anyway, there's no regulators left there. There's Dawn DeBerry Stump. She's the only official regulator right now. Rustin Benham is just acting. He's not even acting. Truthfully, he's not even acting like a regulator. But Dawn DeBerry Stump gave her notification of leaving. She's leaving early, a year and a half early almost, and she declared that she has fulfilled her term. It's a 5-year term from the day you start to the day you end. The day she started was 3 3/4 years ago, and the day she ends is April. But it's really the next year in August. It should tell you something. Dawn DeBerry Stump, we're going to call you out. You're the only regulator who has been officially put in that position. You are closing your eyes to obvious manipulation. You are part of the problem. You should be tried for crimes of aiding and abetting an ongoing crime. As long as market manipulation is a crime, as far as I know, because they are all colluding together, as the DOJ said, it is a RICO crime. Just the same way they got the mafia. RICO crimes. And that's where we are. RICO crimes in silver. Dawn DeBerry Stump, you are aiding and abetting. Rustin Benham, even though you're acting, you might have some immunity on that. The Biden administration has added none, zero, nada, commissioners to the CFTC. It is supposed to, at all times, have 5 commissioners. It has, she just gave her notice, so it's 0. Dawn DeBerry Stump is gone April 1st, I believe. I don't even know what to say anymore other than it is a shark. It is in your face. The rigging is in your face. Oh, I do want to say yesterday, CoinMarketCap had some kind of data glitch, and all the cryptos went to like $100 million each, and they all had, and people were texting me, "Oh my God, we're finally here!" I'm like, it is a great reminder that all prices are fake. The price of silver, which was slammed so far today 50 cents, is fake. It's got nothing to do with silver. And we are at that point where Nostradamus wrote about it centuries ago. Imitations of gold and silver get tossed into the lake. The price of silver will not matter. It is only determined on the COMEX. And then everybody uses that price around the world. Little coin shops, Joe Schmo, your pension fund, everything. SLV, they use that price, the price of silver derivatives determined by JP Morgan, to tell the world what the price of silver is. It's worse than the London fix. Remember the London fix? The gold and silver fix where the Rothschilds and the big banking heads got together and said, okay, at 10 o'clock this morning, here's your price of gold and silver. And at 2 o'clock this afternoon, here's your price of gold and silver. The London fix was finally dumped over 10 years ago, I think now, because it was so obviously pathetic. They even called it the fix. Now we have something 50 times worse because they don't admit that it's the fix. The fix is in. But remember, the CFTC had 3 years to investigate silver manipulation. They couldn't find anything. They were sitting on the desk of JP Morgan. Everybody pointed, here's your criminal, here's your criminal, here's your criminal. and they couldn't figure out how they did it. Or they were in bed with the banking cabal and the Federal Reserve and the U.S. Treasury. None of this happens without the banking cabal, the Federal Reserve, and the U.S. Treasury. When you go against the power that be, when J.P. Morgan tried to take down the repo market to destroy Trump in the election, what did Trump do? He went right after J.P. Morgan and charged them with manipulation of gold, silver, and U.S. Treasuries, said, we are going to ring you up on RICO charges and throw you all in jail unless this ends. And then all of a sudden, voila, Jamie Dimon and J.P. Morgan did what they were told. And oh, by the way, they're not allowed to trade silver anymore. J.P. Morgan's not allowed to trade silver on the COMEX anymore. They can own all the inventory. They just can't do it under their name. So who does all the trading on the COMEX now? J.P. Morgan customers. It is, now that's collusion. That's collusion between J.P. Morgan and their customers to rig the price of silver. And collusion, that's a RICO charge. It's just insane. It's just insane. So, yes, the big news today, the Fed to announce final policy decision of the year. So you got to rig all markets today of all days. Federal Reserve on Wednesday will provide its final update for the year on its easy money policies, with all signs pointing to a quicker drawdown of its pandemic stimulus. That's bullshit. Bullshit, bullshit, bullshit. The reality is, and Ruta wrote it in the sand in 1981, the only way out of this current system is to print as much money as possible. Print money to infinity. No country in the history of the world has ever reined in their spending. They have nobody's ever paid off their debt. Name me one country that paid off their debt. Because as soon as they get close to paying off their debt, as soon as they do kind of okay, they either change the rules so they can get more debt or they just get more debt. People tell me that, under the Clinton administration, we reduced the debt. That's bullshit. You just changed all the rules of how it's measured. You changed CPI, for Christ's sake. It's a con, and we're in the middle of it. Good news. Here's the good news. It's been going on for decades, many decades, at least since 1913 when Woodrow Wilson locked up the gold in the Grand Canyon. Many decades. And it's going to end. And it's going to end on our watch. You and I are going to stand up and say no more of this shit. We're going to expose the bullshit. And we're going to move on to something else. I don't know what that something else is, and nobody does. It's going to be decided by the people, so probably cryptos, maybe silver, maybe gold. There'll be no NESRA, GESRA, quantum financial system bullshit. You were sold that so they could take your money. All you XRP investors, sorry, my friend. All the owners of XRP, wow, this was all going on, and everyone's getting excited. XRP is going to be part of the new quantum financial system. All those owners, those 3 owners of XRP who had all the XRP and are under, SEC's looking at them right now. They were selling. I hate to tell you, they weren't buying. They didn't even buy into their own con. But they were able to drive up the price of XRP and get some suckers in. There will be no deciders in the new system. It's going to happen organically. I don't know how it's going to happen. Now, there's somebody who wants to figure this out. There's somebody who wants to sit there and say, okay, you do this and you do this. Remember, they're trying to keep together a criminal system. Here's the dude, Gary Gensler. The head of the SEC was the head of the CFTC when silver was rigged. And now he's head of the SEC because he's a crypto expert. Absolutely, he is a crypto expert. He's smarter than 99% of the people in cryptos, even the OGs in cryptos. It doesn't mean he's a good guy. It means he thinks that he can control what you do on a daily basis, what humanity does on a daily basis, because he answers to the powers that be who run our system. Gary Gensler, he was in charge of Clinton's financial debacle when she ran for president. SEC seeks to prevent one cause of investor runs during financial panics. In proposals concerning money market funds, Chairman Gary Gensler cites Dash for Cash at start of COVID-19 panic. Don't blame COVID-19 for people wanting to get their money out of the criminal banking system. Come on, Gary, I know you watch this every day. He does. So does Trump, though, so we're all good. I refuse to subscribe to the Wall Street Journal because it is a it's a mouthpiece. All you need is the headline. Wall Street regulators are set Wednesday to propose requirements for some money market mutual funds to diminish investors' tendency to flee the instruments during financial crisis. You see how that's put? To diminish investors' tendency to flee instruments. It's the exact opposite. To stop investors from taking their cash out of the system. Because the system is the problem. And they say to diminish investors' tendency to flee. They don't want to cause panic. Tendency to flee the instruments. All you're doing is taking your cash out of the system, out of their system, because they don't even have it, my friends. They don't even have it. They don't have the stocks. They don't have the bonds. They don't have the money in the money market funds. It is a fraud. That's why Veritasium is so massively important, even to Gary Gensler. They are working behind the scenes. Check out the Jenny Moonstone videos that we've been doing all year. It is happening. Veritasium will be the #1 cryptocurrency if the system stays together. If it falls apart, who the hell knows? So it's kind of a hedge on everything falling apart and getting put back together. It's hard. You go to Mercatalks.com and you can get some varied trading for Bitcoin or Ethereum. You got to know what you're doing and make sure you take it off the exchange. Anybody who buys Veritasium and doesn't get it in their own possession, you don't own squat diddly screw. Squat diddly. Gary Gensler is trying to hold together a fraudulent system. He can't do it. I mean, we're talking about quadrillions in derivatives that are going to come crashing down. He can't do it. He knows that. I think he's planning on trying to set up something after the crash. Everything's after the crash. One of the first interviews I ever did on the radio, 2010. I forgot the name of the guy I did an interview with. No. It was the second interview with Sean at SGT Report. We did a 1-hour interview. I was trying to explain Road-to-Ruta theory. A lot of the things I hadn't discovered yet, like the gold in the Grand Canyon, I hadn't even discovered yet. And I'm trying to walk him through, and everything came to Sean saying, I can't see anybody deciding that this happens. I said, no, it's not going to happen. It's not a decision. It's a way forward after the crash. The crash has to happen. We have to take out the vast majority of wealth. We either arrest all these criminals and take their money and redistribute unbacked fiat money and derivatives, really? Or you destroy everything, a creative destruction event. Alan Greenspan talked about it in his book. It has to happen. It is going to happen. It's not a debt jubilee. Debt jubilee sounds like hee-haw. But there will be no more debt. But there'll be no more electronic assets that are not standalone. Yes, cryptos are electronic assets, but they are standalone assets, no third-party counterparty if you have them in your own possession. I know it gets a little complicated when I've been doing this for so damn long, studying exactly what is happening right now. There's a few things I know. We need to get rid of our current system. It is completely fraudulent. Number 2, we need to take out the bad guys and redistribute the wealth of humanity. Who gets to decide that? Nobody gets to decide that. So how's it done? Alan Greenspan had a way to do it. When he was figuring out this electronic monetary system back in the 70s, yes, he invented electronic money. He was probably involved in inventing Bitcoin. I believe it was a group of people, but Alan Greenspan, absolutely. It made sense that it would be Alan Greenspan involved in the Satoshi white paper. Why? Because he was the best computer programmer for the past 50 years. Absolutely. I'll argue that with anybody. He was he invented the electronic financial system. He had a contest with his buddy, John Kemeny, in the early 60s about who was smarter. This is his high school buddy. John Kemeny was Albert Einstein's mathematician. John Kemeny took the high route. He went into teaching, and he invented something called BASIC, the first shareable computer program. John Kemeny is the reason we're here today on the internet. Alan Greenspan went to something more shady. Not shady. Alan Greenspan wanted to go back to a gold standard, a true gold standard. So he invented electronic money to smooth the way, and boy, did he do a good job. How much market rigging has been done by computers since the early 70s? 100%. This bullshit right here, that's computers trading back and forth. Virtu Financial in the basement of the U.S. Treasury. Vinny Viola. I'm going to click a mouse and make silver go from $23 down to $21.52 right before the Fed meeting. And then I'll pretend like the market's going to adjust and it's going to go wherever I want it to go because I'm going to click that mouse again. It's fake. The whole thing's fake. Stock market, completely fake. Bond market, completely fake. Why do you think they have to crash the system? They can't even control the fraud anymore. Why do you think Gary Gensler say, we got to stop runs on cash? If you think about it, that's how he does a haircut. Oh, you can only go to your ATM and withdraw $25 a day. That guy thinks he can control the collapse of a fraudulent system that is a global financial system. Good luck, Gary. I admire his courage to stand there and pretend that he could fix this problem. Gary, you didn't create the problem, but you're covering up the problem. And you surely can't fix the problem because you don't have the trust and faith of the people, my friend. And that's what the future will take. It's not going to be trust and faith in any human being. It's going to be trust and faith in math. That's why the blockchain's so good. Yes, the criminals in crypto should be taken out and strung up because they are bad dudes. The deep state, pedo cabal, bad dudes. We need to take them out, take their wealth if you can find it, and lock them up and try them for their crimes. Everybody in Congress who committed crimes, and there's a hell of a lot of them, they need to be taken out. Most likely the United States will not be in the same form that you see it today. It's not a bad thing. The United States was always about the individual. We're a republic, not a democracy. Democracy means that out of 10 people, if you get 6 of them to say, you have to do this, then you have to do it. You could call it, we're a democratic republic. Fine. But we're a republic, number one, meaning it's the right of the individual, not groupthink. California just instituted an indoor mandate. Why? Because there was unknown reason why. The Omicron, whatever that thing is, it's only killed one person. You should, if you're going to take that stance, Gavin Newsom, why not just make it illegal to cross the street? Because thousands of people die from crossing the street. We should just stop crossing the street. It is insane what these criminals are getting away with. That's the key. What do they get away with? I don't think they're going to get away with much anymore. Another soccer player went down. And they're not talking about it. Dozens of athletes are going down with heart problems. And you know what it's from. So Gary Gensler, you got balls, my friend, to try to pretend that you could do something about a corrupt system that is built on literal quicksand. And you as a Road to Ruta follower, how can you help solve this problem? First, get yourself ready and your friends ready. You're going to need food, water, definitely some physical silver in your own possession. Definitely some cryptos in your own possession. Only the good ones that will survive. My favorites, number 1, Theta and Theta Fuel. Number 2, now Veritasium. Veritasium will be part of the future whether Gensler likes it or not. If Gensler has his way and the crypto world gets, fully regulated, then Veritasium would have to be in that solution. If there is no more Gensler, Veritasium will still be in the solution because it's peer-to-peer transactions. We won't have any exchanges anymore. What the hell are we going to use? Reggie invented a way out of their system. That's why they took him down. So Theta, Veritasium, Litecoin is the right coin as the means of exchange. Litecoin with Mimblewimble, so you have anonymous transactions. Bravo. Bravo, the Litecoin family. Charlie Lee's got some involvement, but he's been long gone, as we all know. It is not centralized. Litecoin is the right coin as a means of exchange. For Asia, I think Bitcoin Cash will be the Litecoin. I think US and the West will love Litecoin. Asia will love Bitcoin Cash. Not Bitcoin. Bitcoin's too slow. Oh, by the way, did I tell you that Reggie Middleton has the patent on the Lightning Network? Hate to tell you, Reggie invented all DeFi. Reggie invented it long before your lovely DeFi company was out there. If you got your cryptos in one of those, I don't know what to tell you. Other than you're infringing on a patent that is enforced should be enforced, will be enforced in the United States and in Japan, by the way. Also, Reggie's sending out letters to all the crypto companies, the crypto DeFi companies, and probably any institution working. Like, I will guarantee you that the Lightning Labs will get a letter from Reggie saying, hey, you're infringing on my patent. Let's talk. And Reggie's not out to destroy cryptos. He's not out to destroy our financial system. As a matter of fact, he did the exact opposite. He wants to save our financial system. He wants to save people's wealth by instituting peer-to-peer transactions, taking out banks, brokerage houses, exchanges. And he invented a way to do it. And now the patent was just granted. Anyway, that's where we are. Hang on tight. Yes, silver's being rigged. If you can get your hands on some, obviously do. Contact Andy Scheckman, Andy, A-N-D-Y, at milesfranklin.com, milesfranklin.com. Say, Andy, my God, I need physical silver, and they just gave me a huge discount. Silver's going into the tens of thousands. It's going to cross gold. And Andy will also swap your gold for silver. If you have gold, you're half smart. The other half is understanding that silver does everything that gold does. Everything. Except a hell of a lot more. A hell of a lot more. That's why they have to keep silver down. That's why gold is trading 2.5 times its all-time highs from 1980, and silver's trading at 40% of its all-time high. I hope this is getting through. Yeah, I know it is. Anyway, you want more? Hey, now's the time if you want to get Road to Ruta gear before Christmas. Hit shop, go to the merch store, order some merch, hoodies, sweatshirts, Hornets cup. They're cool. Let's Go Brandon hats with the Road to Ruta emblem. Oh, that's a cool one. I actually did order one of those. It's on the way. But order now if you want to get them before Christmas. Also, on the Road to Ruta, we are currently, yes, I am going to go through what I think my timeline is for the private road. My timeline of having been thinking about this for over 20 years, I'm going to lay out, okay, month by month for the next 6 months. Here's what I think is going to go down, and here's what I think the reaction will be, and here's what I think how the left will freak out, and then the right will freak out, then Americans will freak out, and then ultimately, we have to go through this transition to get to the other side. And the other side is truth and honest markets. Free markets are the way to freedom, absolutely. If you don't have free markets, you don't have freedom. And right now, we do not have freedom. So join the private road. We will send you 50 Theta Fuel. Theta Fuel is going to be a monster. I can't tell you when, but I think there's an AMA. The Theta gang is doing an AMA on the 16th of December where they ask me anything, where they talk about everything. We're going to get some juicy tidbits. And the Katy Perry event is coming up at the end of the month. I think a T-Drop NFT just is in the bidding right now. So, yeah, get ready for T-Fuel to be in the discussion of everybody who's into NFTs, which is a huge place. At some point, I think that Tom Brady will come out and say, hey, we found a blockchain. They haven't admitted that they're doing stuff on other blockchains. We're going to use a blockchain. It's compliant with all the SEC rules, and it's going to be Theta and T-Fuel, and then we're going to use T-Drop, which is coming in February. That's my take. Hey, don't believe me if you don't want to. Road to Ruta has been getting a lot of things right lately, though, and it makes me very happy. And those of you who stuck with the road to Ruta, you should be doing very well going forward. This is Bix Weir. I'll talk to you guys later.